We're going to go over a pull-up today. First off, I want you to know the difference between a pull-up and a chin-up. A chin-up, your palms are facing you, and typically it uses more bicep. But for a pull-up, we're gonna have our palms facing away, and we'll use our lats predominantly. So the muscles that we will engage during this pull-up are your traps, which we don't necessarily want to engage, but we'll get to that. Your core, your hip flexors, your quads. A lot of people don't think about their lower body when they're doing pull-ups, and our lats. So for this video, whether you know how to do a pull-up already or you don't, this will be beneficial because we're giving form cues. Typically when people do pull-ups, they're just getting themselves above the bar. We're gonna focus on what actually you should be doing in order to have more proper form and a more strict pull-up rather than using momentum. So first with our scapula, we want to pack our lats, that's our shoulder blades. Our scapulas are our shoulder blades. We're pulling back and down. So our chest is lifted. And with this, we're pulling here. We never want to just start pulling. We want to move the shoulder blades back and down first, squeezing them together. As we pack our lats, you want to keep that the entire move. Even as you lift your arms back up, don't let your shoulders come up. That's where the traps come into play. We want to relax the traps, pull the shoulder blades back and down the whole time. So if I were pulling, I pull back and down first. I'm still hanging, and I'll show you this momentarily. Pull the elbows back and down. Shoulder blades are still back and down as my elbows go up. So my chest is still lifted. If I were to release, I'd come here. Again, pulling back and down. We call it packing because you're acting as if you're pulling your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Another thing that we want to focus on are our wrists. Choose whichever's best for you, but some people do a false grip. So I'm actually going to step up here and show you on the bar. With a false grip, some people tend to have a fist and pull with their wrist, and some people leave their thumb over the bar. You have that option, or you can wrap your hand fully around the bar. If you do, try not to break your wrist. We want a straight line. So straight line, false grip, or a complete false grip are the options. When you are engaging your core in a pull-up, we want a hollow body position. So we're gonna do this without the bar first. Your hips are tucked under, so we don't want to arch off the ground. We want to actively press our lower back into the ground, shortening our torso. That's how we engage the torso. Feet will be lifted and extended, and shoulder blades will be off the ground. The only difference when we're doing the pull-up is that shoulder blades will be here, and we're holding this position. Right now I'm holding it horizontally, but when we're up on the bar, it's gonna be the same position. So you'll tend to see people's feet move in front of them. That's where the hip flexors come into play. We don't want to just dangle them, and I'll show that when I get up. Shortening your torso, pulling the shoulder blades down and back, and holding this hollow body position. If you choose to just practice your hollow body first, you can have your hands extended or down next to your side. Engage first, then lift. You can hold here, or to make it more difficult, hold here. We're gonna lift up into a hollow body position, and I want her to do it incorrect, a coning position. So just lift the feet, lift the shoulder blades. Right here, she's not regulating her core pressure, so her abdomen is protruding up. We don't want this, so you can relax down. The coning is if pressure is building down the midline of the abdomen. That means she's not able to regulate, she's not able to draw inwards. Draw inwards doesn't mean sucking inwards, it means circling your rib cage inwards, if that makes sense. So we're closing the rib cage, not just sucking in. If this were to happen as she's doing the pull-up, she would need to kind of release and then reset. So now if you can reset, brace, and not show coning, then that's what we're gonna do. And so it's better, there's not as much of a visible, but if you were to touch her stomach, you would probably feel a little bit of pressure, and then you can lower down. So for this version of the pull-up, I'm going to be using a band for support. You can obviously use any type of band that you have. It can be very thick, it can be very thin. That's how you're going to change your intensity. That's one way that you can change it. Another way that we can adjust it, I can put my knee in for support. This will be less support and less assistance to me than if I were to put my foot in and stretch the band tighter. So I'll start with my leg extended, and I'm just gonna cross the other leg over for support. So first things first, so out of those three things we talked about, my wrists are straight, shoulder blades are pulled back and down, and core is engaged, torso is shortened. You'll see my feet come in front of me as I move up. So I pull the shoulder blades back and down first, and then I pull my chin above the bar. My elbows don't flare out. Shoulder blades are always the first thing to go. I'm resetting in between each rep, but you do not have to. You can stay here and not let this go. With this band, it's a little bit lighter than this green band we were using, so that is less resistance, meaning that she'll have to pull more of her weight. And then she's putting her knee in the band instead of her full extended leg, so the band isn't stretched as much, and that's less resistance again. So that's two ways to increase your intensity or change up the movement if you want to. So we'll do the knee, and she can hook her other foot across her ankles when she gets up there. So she lowers all the way down so that she can start. Go ahead and cross your ankles. So bring this one up on top. There we go. And that way the band is supporting both ankles. Pull the shoulder blades back and down first, and then pull all the way up. So her shoulder blades are working. They're pulling her lats back and down. Her core is engaged. She's mainly controlling the swinging. If you're swinging too much, you're not engaging your core. And she's exhaling at the top, inhaling at the bottom. So we're going to show some common mistakes that people make. It's not that it's necessarily incorrect, but you could perform it with better form so that you're not fatiguing your arms as quickly, and you can actively engage more muscles throughout your body. As people get tired, their traps engage more, their upper traps engage more, and their shoulders come up towards their ears. So see, she wasn't able to pull her shoulder blades back and down. Shoulders come up, they start rolling forwards. These are mistakes people make. Then as they get tired, they may start to kick and lose the tension in their lower body. Just trying to do anything to get above the bar. Like I said, it's not incorrect, but you can do it with a little bit proper form, a little bit more proper form. So this is a traditional body weight pull-up. Pulling the shoulder blades back and down. His feet are together and core is engaged. You can hook your feet if you need to, but notice his feet come in front of him in order to keep his core engaged. As he gets tired, he might start to lose his form. He might bend his knees and lean his back backwards, which is what we don't want. He's losing his core engagement by arching his back. And another thing is if his shoulders start to roll forwards. His traps are high, it doesn't get him over the bar, and things like this start to occur. These are the things that we want to avoid. So with this version of a pull-up, or not even a pull-up, but just strengthening your lats, I put this plate in front of me just because my feet will slide and it gives me something to brace against. And then for the height of the barbell, right here I'll be doing an incomplete rep. So if you have it higher, you can start fully extended But if you need to build up the strength, you can start it a little bit lower. It's typically easier to start when your elbows are already bent. We still want to pull our shoulder blades back and down first. And one version is to do the same thing, you just have support with your legs. Extend it out in front of you will make it a little bit more difficult. And then set yourself back down. Again, keeping the shoulder blades back and down. Your shoulders are away from your ears. Or you can bend your knees and do the same thing, just have a little bit more support. One thing to take note of is where the barbell is placed, which side of the rack it's on. So right now I'm pulling it into the rack. If I were on the other side, I might accidentally pull it out. So just make sure that you're on the side where you're pulling it into a more secure position. Regardless if the grip is exactly the same or if your body positioning is exactly the same, you're still working your lats, your rhomboids, all of those different back muscles. So we're gonna do a row from the barbell. Again, pulling it into a secure position. You can have your knees bent or extended, and you can have palms up or down, but pulling the shoulder blades back and down. Switching whichever grip you prefer. Pulling the chest towards the bar. With the TRX, not everyone has a barbell in their homes. You're welcome to use a TRX or even a sheet hanging over your door frame with the door closed. And we'll do the same thing that we did with the barbell. You can start with a lat pull, shoulder blades back and down. This is a more appropriate height than where I had the barbell because my arms are more extended. Pulling up, squeezing the shoulder blades back and down. Really try to get your shoulders away from your ears first, and then pulling. Resetting if you need to, or you can do a traditional row. You can switch your grip to a neutral grip, which is palms facing each other, or you can have palms facing down, or even do chin-up grip with your palms facing you. So I'll do neutral grip, palms facing each other, and I will row up. Shoulder blades back and down. This is one way that you can begin working towards the pull-up if you're not there yet, or how you can strengthen your pull-up without directly doing pull-ups.